Hello, so it's been a minute, but we're gonna go over a VOD where I'm playing around Draven. So this is going to be a nice little tempo spot where I basically try and cap my board really high around some late game 5 costs. So if you like that style, make sure to like and subscribe. Of course, I do VOD reviews on this channel, but I also have my main channel where I do, the guides and stuff. You guys can check that out. But anyways, I've been dialing back on doing content just because I'm focusing on game dev right now, because I need to get a real job because TFT has not worked out for me. Which, it is what it is. I'll try and still post regularly, but especially the VOD channel, we might not have a video every single day anymore. Same with the main channel, because I need to work on other stuff. And I need to make some spare time to work on those things. But either way, I'll try and do this as frequently as possible. So here, I'm starting the game off with Augment. It's silver. I started with a Draven, which I don't know if you guys saw, but it was like right the turn before or so. There's a Draven on my bench, or I think there's a Draven on my board. I decided to take team building here. Draven is great because he's really good item holder for really strong items, and he's also really great for generating gold. Right, he generates like 3 gold per turn if you upgrade him to Draven 2. So a lot of times if you have a good Draven spot, you don't necessarily have to play Draven reroll, but you could easily, sorry, I didn't gel my hair today, so it keeps falling in my eyes. But you can easily just like tempo that and play really effectively around him. So what I want to do here is I just want to play around like Noxus opener, right? I have Draven, I have Silas. If you don't have one or the other, like they unlock each other. Not Draven, but you can unlock other Noxus units. And here I instantly slam Even Shroud because I have the Draven. Of course, Kraken is like a good Draven item and stuff like that, but I don't want to greed it all. Basically the Even Shroud is gonna work for, I think it helps with the no, it doesn't do damage, right? I was gonna say Even Shroud sometimes it helps, it does the range, but it doesn't do damage, so it doesn't help with Scion takedowns. But either way, I just want to have an item. I want to try and win rounds here. I want to try and kill units with this Draven so I can get these adoration stacks, because it's going to generate me gold that's going to allow me to play around anything. And of course, I can play Flex, I can play into Yunara, I can play into level 9, and you don't have to cookie cutter what you're going to play, because I'm going to see what items I have. But playing around the early Draven is really powerful, and that's why I took the lesser dupes, because my idea is if I find another Draven, either on Carousel or in shop, bang, I duplicate him, and now I have a Draven that drops me 3 gold per round. If I don't find another Draven, by the end of this stage, because it only takes 5 rounds, I'm going to have 2 dupes, and I can just use them on the Draven. I don't have to necessarily play reroll from this spot. I think a lot of people get tunnel vision, like you see a reroll unit, you play reroll. But I'm not going to play reroll. I'm going to... Bro, this hair is pissing me off. Hold on. I'm just going to comb it this way. Okay, I'm going to look a little bit goofy. Right, I'm going to look a little bit goofy, but I just don't want it in my eyes. So excuse me for this video, but, I didn't gel my hair. But either way, like, see, Draven just dropped a gold, right? You want to use that gold to generate you tempo, right? You want to use it to level. Oh, sorry, that was the Milio. That wasn't the gold yet. But you want to use that to generate yourself like econ interest, put yourself in a good spot for late game. So me, obviously I'm not the strongest board, but my lobby isn't particularly strong, so I'm definitely able to get like a little bit of a streak going here, right? Then I can make interest here by selling all the units on my bench, keeping the Scion, keeping the other units, right? Unlock Darius, so if I want to play deeper into Noxus, I can. But I could also activate Defender, right? Right now it's probably a little bit better than Briar in my opinion, so I just put him in place of Briar. But the idea is that whether you win streak or you lose streak, right? I already gained 1 gold with this Draven. If I can find myself to a Draven 2, then all of a sudden I'm generating 3 gold every single time. If I can find myself into something better than that, so be it. But it's really, really strong, really solid opener. And as you can see, I just kind of play around it. Slamming the Even Shroud is essential here just because I'm trying to get these kills. Because as you can see, Draven, no items. He's one of those units that just does a decent chunk of change. And the Even Shroud helps with that a lot, right? Reducing the armor is going to help the Draven get those kills, which is going to help me to generate that gold. So we're using this purely as like an econ generation setup. Here, I see the Draven on Carousel. Lord knows I want that Draven more than anything. I don't get it. I have to get something else. I end up taking a cloak. I think the other option was like, I forget what I got left with. Yeah, I didn't take glove, because glove isn't that good with Draven, and a lot of the units that play out of Draven, the glove isn't super crazy. If you want to play Yunara from this spot, you can. But at this point, I just take cloak, because I'm like, I'm either going to make another Scion item, or I'll make a Draven item after. Then I naturally get to level. I put in the Ash for Quick Striker, so now my Draven's going to pump a little bit more. And basically... We lose a round here. I'm just skipping ahead a little bit just so the VOD's not too long. We lose a round, but then we win a round. It is what it is. We didn't full streak, but we have a decent amount of econ and we have a decent amount of HP just from playing around those. Now we have the 2 duplicators here, so I could just make a Draven 2. I think what you should do here, by the way, is make the Draven 2 if you're close to the cash outs in terms of the stacks. So if you're close to the cash outs, you make Draven 2 because when you upgrade him, the adoration doesn't reset. So let's say I'm 1 off of 3 gold. If I make a Draven 2 right now, then I'll get 3 gold instead of 1 gold, so it pays a lot of dividends to upgrade him with the two duplicators. I don't think that far ahead in this game. I thought of it after the game, which is kind of silly because it would have been nice if I thought of it during the game. But it's something I don't pay attention to. My goal here is that I have a Scion on bench. So what I want to do is I want to roll a little bit here. Because basically with these 2 duplicators, I'm paired on a lot of units, right? I'm paired on Scion. I'm paired on this Briar, or I was paired on Briar. I guess I sold one for Econ. But I'm paired on Scion. And if I find any Draven, I can be paired on Draven. So ideally, in a perfect world, what I do is I'm going to roll here a little bit, like probably on level 6. And then I'm going to decide if I use both duplicators on Draven, or if I use 1 dupe on Draven, 1 dupe on Scion, depending on who I hit, right? If I hit a Scion in shop and I upgrade Scion 2, then I would have Scion 2 with Draven 2. That's like the best use of these duplicators if you're not playing reroll and you're just using it for like purely tempo, if that makes sense. So I'm okay with that. It's just like, you know, it's a little bit awkward here. I think here I'm going to cash out my Draven gold. And I think this is what I was saying before, that I should have used my 2 dupes this turn. Unless it's a different game. I've done a couple of these, so I don't remember. This one's a little bit older. I think it's from last week. I'm a bit behind on my VOD reviews for this channel. But no, we still win, so that's fine. But I think, yeah, see, I cashed out my gold there. This is what I was saying before. If I double duped the Draven the turn before, I would have gotten 3 gold instead of 1 gold, which could have made me interest, right? That 3 gold, I'm at 46 gold right now. If I earned 2 more gold, I could have sold the Twisted Fate. I would have been at 50. And if I was at 50, then I'm getting plus 1 gold the next turn. So that 3 gold is really like 4 gold, right? Plus the gold that if I, like, you know what I mean? So it's actually like, it's a lot, right? From 1 to 4, like that's like almost a whole augment. You know what I mean? In terms of how much gold I just missed out on there. That's why I would usually say, like, now I thought of it after this game. I was like, I should have just duped the Draven instantly. But originally I was thinking of either duping the Scion or the Draven, depending on which one I hit. My bad. Here I want gold, or not gold. I want something that either makes me stronger, or I want like a good econ augment. I'm kind of leaning towards Gold Destiny here. And I hit Pyromaniac. The reason Gold Destiny, I don't think there's too many misses. If I don't like my other options that much, like if there's not like an overwhelmingly good econ or overwhelmingly good combat, then I'd rather just take Gold Destiny, because it gives me a good amount of econ that in conjunction with an augment, so it feels very powerful. I'm a big fan of these Destiny ones. Some people aren't, but I am. Red buff is great because it's attack speed for this guy, so I'm totally down for that. And now I'm probably gonna level here and roll a little bit. I'm basically going to roll such that I don't grief my econ, right? I'm at 40 gold right now. I want to make 40 at the end of this turn. So I'm going to roll at like maybe once or twice here, looking for a Scion or a Draven. Yeah, see, I don't dupe first. I roll twice, right? That's as much as I'm willing to roll, because anything deeper than that, then I wouldn't be able to make 40. And at that point, it's fine. So now I'm just going to double dupe the Draven. It would have been nice to find the Scion. I don't want to roll much deeper than that, because I'm basically keeping like a threshold in my head. Like, whenever you roll, you always have to roll if you have a lot of unit pairs, which I do. I have the Scion, I have the Briars. I'm not keeping a win streak because I just started a new win streak basically. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this win streak. So it's not like I need to roll. If I would obviously roll deeper if I was keeping a win streak, because then I'm generating the gold back from that win streak. But then also, bro, this hair is still annoying me even though I put it off to the side. But then if you don't have a way of recovering that econ in a meaningful way, it could put you in a really bad spot. So a lot of times you don't want to drop below 40 or even 30. 30 is like the bare minimum, because it's easier to make 30 than 40 than 50. So I would roll if I have multiple unit pairs, which I did, and I would roll to a certain breakpoint and not anything lower. So for me, that breakpoint in my head was 40, because I was like, I don't think it's worth it to roll for the Scion 2 that deep, because I have these 2 duplicators, right? So if I have these 2 duplicators, I don't want to grief my econ just to upgrade the units, because then it feels kind of low roll. So I still want to be making 50 this turn, and then I want to be pushing levels and making like 60, making whatever, because I'm obviously not playing Draven reroll at this point. I want to play around like, You know, Draven reroll, I would need like a Bilgewater opener. That's why, right? So I'm not playing around Draven reroll. I want to make sure that I'm playing around some high cost units, which means I need to have like a level 8 roll down. I need to have like a level 9 roll down. The Draven obviously is going to regenerate me this econ, but I just don't think the difference between Scion 1 and Scion 2 is enough for me to dip down too much on econ. That's a personal preference. But if you do decide to roll in your own games, I would recommend that you stay above 30. Like here I stay above 40, but that would be the lowest I would be okay with advising you to drop to. Additionally, guys, if you're watching this game and you're like, man, this guy yaps a lot, that's good. And if you like my yapping, hopefully you stick around. If you don't like it and you think, man, this guy's fucking annoying, then please leave. That's fine. I don't mind. But if you watch this and you're like, damn, I wish he was talking about this about my games. It would be so easy to find out how I make mistakes and stuff like that. I would love it if he looked at my gameplay. Guess what? If you sign up for coaching, this is on my main channel, Fenriba Gaming. This is the VOD channel. You can check out the main channel. If you want a coaching session, not free, basically I have memberships on that channel. In the highest tier membership, there is coaching. The second tier membership, gold memberships, is a VOD review. So if you want me to do exactly what I'm doing here, but for your own game, you can sign up for gold member. It's heavily discounted. It's pretty cheap, or it's cheap considering me like how much time I put into it. And then Prismatic is like a one-on-one coaching session. If you sign up for a one-on-one coaching session, you'll get a free holiday bundle that's on my art store, right? It's the keychain and the card, right? Like this. You get this for free, and it's free shipping. So that's if you sign up for coaching. Just, you know, I'm taking a loss on it, but I'm trying to do something nice because I know this might be the last time my last set of TFT. So I'm trying to, like, you know, be positive or whatever. So you can get one of those if you want. But either way, let's get back to this game. If you're playing Draven, right, crit isn't that great. There's Draven lines where you tempo into Kindred. I played this before it was a popular thing, but I know about it, right? I thinking to myself, if I make it to 9, I'm either playing Kindred, Senna, or both, right? Basically, the AD units, they both scale off of similar items pretty well. Kindred in particular is like a 1-for-1. You can just put the Draven items on Kindred. So I'm just using this gold that I'm generating from this Draven. I'm just getting 3 gold after 3 gold after 3 gold, and that's why I took the lesser duplicators, right? Lesser duplicators, Draven is strong enough as an early game unit that he's pretty reliable. You get some items on him. My items worked out really well. I definitely high rolled on my gold destiny. I could have low rolled on it and made things a lot worse for myself. But I have good attack speed. I have anti-heal. I have shred. So I have all my utility dealt with. Or sorry, I have sundering. I have all my utility dealt with. I have decent Draven items. He doesn't really like crit because he crits anyways. So you usually just build him for like damage and attack speed, so that's pretty good. Oh, here, I talked about this today, by the way. This fucking Briar unit pisses the shit out of me. Can we watch this for a second? Like, it's so hard to play against this Tryndamere comp. So look at me. I'm win streaking. I'm having a great old time, right? Everything is wonderful and amazing. But then this stupid Briar unit, watch this fight, right? Watch this fight. When people position with this board, it's so annoying. Because, like, this Tryndamere, does this look like this Tryndamere is going to hit my Draven? Of course not. But watch, the Tryndamere walks over here, which is cool. I have a side tank and a main tank over here. My bad, I should put the main tank here, but I don't think it matters. Then look at this Briar. This Briar jumps in. And now that she's here, she body blocks the Tryndamere. Look! And then Tryndamere just goes to the back line. It's so cringe. It happens so much. This Briar unit is so annoying in this comp. So the main thing that you have to do to play around this, you have to kind of like position your unit such that Briar doesn't jump. Like, you actually, like, the biggest, like, I lose so many rounds like this to stupid Tryndamere players, and they're not trying. They're just putting their units like normally. But this Briar unit, you have to position around it, right? So that's a huge mistake here, right? Because I don't lose this, by the way. If my Draven doesn't die instantly, I actually win this fight and I keep my win streak. So that costed me a lot of gold, not just the HP, right? The HP is fine, like, whatever, I'm win streaking, who cares? But like that costed me like so much gold. That cost me like 5 or 6 gold because it's a win streak into neutrals into the next round. Like, I just lost so much gold off of that. And like, you know, you can position 2 ways. You can position completely opposite side so the Draven just never gets wrapped on. Like, if my Draven was on the opposite side, it would have been fine. I can position 3 tanks there so that the Briar doesn't block the Tryndamere and the Tryndamere walks around the other way. Or I can position like a little bit further out so that when the Briar jumps to the opposite side. Either of those 3 things would have saved me a bunch of gold. It's not something that I look out for a lot. because I didn't notice it at first. At first I was like, why does Tryndamere always hit my backline? Is he bugged? It's like, no, it's the goddamn Briar, you moron. But that's why I'm not like a rank 1 challenger player and I'm a grandmaster player, because it takes me time to figure this shit out. Like, I feel like I'm dumb for how much I play TFT. Like, sometimes I just don't figure out what's going on, and then like when I finally figure it out, I'm like, you know, like, come on, man. But that's part of like learning the set and everything. So, like, you know, you slowly learn what all the units do and what everything does. Here I have to make some items. I'm level 758 gold. We're gonna see what I end up playing around. The thing that's great about Scion is that if you have Scion early, when you get to stage 4, a lot of the times, if you have enough HP, you can kind of get by with just Scion being your main tank. If you want me to wait till Augment just to see if I can rearrange my items a little bit better, because I'm not particularly fond of making any of these. So we're gonna see, but I'm probably gonna make like a Protector's Vow or a Crown Guard, right? I might keep the glove just for like, you know, the sake of like potentially being like a decent item. I lost this round anyway, so you can say the streak didn't matter that much. But I can maybe rearrange those items a little bit. We'll see. Because if I get like extra components, like, you know, glove, usually you want to make like a Thieves Gloves if you're playing like around high cost units. And the other items I probably want to make some kind of frontline item. But anyways, here, Spear's Will. I can take Explosive Growth and just go straight to 9, by the way, which I think is what I end up trying to do, unless I see a good combat augment. Like, Dual Q is potentially fine, and 2 copies of random components, so I'm either taking Dual Q or Explosive Growth. Because the thing with Dual Q, so I'm going to pause for a second just so that you guys don't, like, freak out. Dual Q is fine here, because there's a lot of hits, right? When there's a lot of hits, it's usually okay to take. So Dual Q gives you 2 copies of a 5 cost. Or sorry, 2 copies, like 2 5 costs basically, right? With Dual Q, let's say I do a ranking of which ones I want to see in this spawn and which ones I don't. I think Shyvana is good. I think Azir is good. I think this is good. I think Kindred is good, right? These are all like my giga hits, right? Shyvana fits really well with a lot of these boards because if I'm playing around Noxus, it fits in nicely with Swain, and also really, really flexible, really solid option, right? Fiddlesticks, I think, also could be up here. Azir basically solves your game for you. You can basically play Azir and then play into Renekton. But even if you don't play into Renekton, he basically gives you a whole board. Now that Nasus got buffed and he's actually pretty good, Azir is so much better because no matter who you cash out, you basically get an entire board for free and they're all high quality units. Senna, Kindred, obviously I have the items for them. They just become my carry and I go straight to 9 if I hit either of these. So this is fine. We're happy with either of these. Fiddlesticks, also similar to Shyvana, really, really strong and really reliable. Additionally, if I'm trying to go fast 9, Zillion, maybe Zillion and Annie are the worst ones. Orange kind of over here. It might be something like this, right? These are like S tier. These are S plus tier. Sorry, S plus tier. These are S tier. This is A tier. These are B tier. You know what I mean? Because I don't have items for either of these. So really, the only time that I have a really bad time here is if I get both Annie and Zillion. Then I'm in a really bad spot. But for the most part, I'm okay with all of these. Even Orin could scale me with items early. So of the base 5 costs in the game that you can get, because I'm playing around AD and I can play around Kindred easily and Senna Lucian easily, and Azir now is good. Before, Azir used to be shit because like you only had to play for Renekton. But now that Nasus is good, you can play around Azir pretty easily. So it's actually pretty skewed towards being a good option, which is why I take it here. Because like, let's see who I hit. Oh, what's this? I hit Azir and I hit a Senna. Well, guess what I'm doing? I'm going to be playing Azir and I'm going to have my whole board for free. I'm going to be playing around Senna, which is a great AD unit. Now, I don't think that Senna is better than Draven right now because Draven will continue to generate me gold. But at this point, I'm not even going to roll, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I just play Azir over something and just call it a day. Like, that's the board. And then I'll probably play this over Ashe, yeah. Like, this is my board. GG. This is a fine board on stage 4, right? Like, you have to understand, I'm 75 HP as well. Scion has an insane amount of HP, right? Scion has just been scaling HP the whole game. And look at this. Now I just make all my items. I got 2 copies of a component. Guess what I got? I got a sword. Shojin, IE, Crown Guard. Similarly, Kindred, Shyvana, and some of the other units would have been fine. But as you can see, look, I have a Lucian Senna with 2 good items. I have a Draven with 3 items. The Yunara's off to the side. We don't even care about her at this point. And I'm going to cash out a Shuriman. Whatever, I'm going straight to 9. Goodbye, everybody. We're on our way to the promised land. I unlocked LeBlanc finally, but you know, that's because I didn't have items or whatever. I think Ornn's a little bit too greedy here. Basically, my front line is pretty stable as well, because Sion has a lot of HP, because he's been scaling the whole game, so he's like around like 3,000-ish HP. He's like as good as like, you know, he's like a budget tank, right? But he's better than a 2-cost tank. He's like, you know, kind of like a 3-cost tank now, maybe a little bit better, because he just gained a lot of HP because we had him early game. I have Bruiser active, which gives my whole board HP. I have Defender active, which gives my whole board armor. So now all of my tanks have HP and armor. That makes them hard to kill. They have 2 of the stats that are important. And as long as I fight boards that are shit, like this one, I just win for free and Draven is giving me gold. So I'm going straight to level 9 now, right? And that's fine, right? Because I was in a spot where I can flex around these 5 costs because I'm playing around this type of board. Obviously, Azir now is a lot better, which also helps a lot. Azir gave me a lot of front line, and he's going to cash me out. Oh, what's this? Guess who I'm getting in a turn? There we go, another frontline unit. Yippee! You know, like, it's fucking over. The game is over already. I'm 75 HP. I'm 40 gold level 8. I'm going straight to 9, and I have 5 costs already, right? That are scaling me. Of course, if you hit an Azir early, you could also play for a Xerath, right? A lot of times you unlock Xerath first because it's easier to manipulate the rounds for like win, lose, lose, win, like, you know, like alternating. But at this point, I don't have Xerath items. If I had like AP style items and I hit an Azir, then I would manipulate for the Xerath because Xerath can be really high cap. But of course, like, you know, I'm not really considering that right now because I might, excuse me, sorry, I'm burping a little bit. I might not have that much space for it, right? Eventually, I'm probably going to drop Sion and the defenders and play a little bit of a more like, you know, cookie cutter level 9 board, like some of the better units like Fiddlestick and you know, Senna and Kindred and those things. But because I have these AD items and I basically have 2 sets of AD items, I'm probably not going to be making, like, you know, I need to make a 3rd Senna item, I need to make a 3rd Sion item. So by the time I make items for Xerath, it's probably not going to be a good idea. So that's why I didn't bother unlocking. Here I roll a little bit. I don't know why though. I think I was just rolling for synergies. I don't think I had to roll here. I think I could have greeted a little bit more. What was I rolling for? I think it's because I'm paired on everything, right? Like, I think I'm paired on Briar. I was paired on Renekton. I was paired on Sejuani. So I just wanted to roll to see if I hit like a really fast Renekton 2 or upgrade. So then here, I think I just swap in these. I just lose Defender. Because with the Briar upgrade, I think it's better. I think Briar 2 is better than Draven 1, but don't quote me on that. So I think I just dropped the, like, I dropped the Defender, which is a little bit of a sad moment for me, because I think Defender is good in this spot. I'm also, if you notice, I'm holding Bel'Veth in the corner. I don't know if you can see it, but Bel'Veth, I'm not holding it to grief anybody in particular. It's just because my Draven items could also be Bel'Veth items. Like, if I end up in a spot where I can, like, unlock towards Aatrox, like, you know, Kraken on Bel'Veth is fine. I usually want stun immunity, but it's not even that bad. So I'm kind of down for that. But for right now, I'm just going to generate the gold with the Draven, make 50. I hit the Renekton 2. I was probably going to roll like every turn like above 50 just to find an upgrade. Because my bench is really full, right? And then if I find one of the upgrades, like we can just like send it. And also I can replace Shen with a better bruiser like a Wukong. So like, you know, we don't have to go straight to 9. I was kind of joking. You could go straight to 9. But I think rolling here is fine because of the Renekton. Because Renekton could also take a lot of the items, and it also gives me better direction of what items I should make after I finish Senna and Sion items. But it's fine. Anyways, here we're just going to, like, chill out. 60 gold level 8. We're probably going to be level 9 in, like, a turn or 2. We hit the Swain. Swain's going to fit in nicely here, that I can play around the Juggernauts with the Noxus units. I could also get in Disruptor for the Azir. But here we can just chill, right? We're still winning rounds. Oh, wait, what happened here? Did I not have Sion items? I'm making Renekton items. What were my item drops? Let me see. I got Cloak, Sword. I guess I don't want to make Declaw. But could I have made another... I could have made Guard Breaker. But then I would have been left with Declaw. Like, I think it's better to make a Senna item here. Because now I'm going to have 2 item, 2 item, 2 item. I think this is a little bit risky. I think this is ill-advised, right? I could have made Declaw, which is a frontline item, and Guard Break and Strikers, which is a 3rd Senna item, right? But instead I chose to make 2 Renekton items. Now, I believe Renekton is broken, but I don't think it's broken enough to do this. This might be a mistake. I don't like what I did here. I think maybe I panicked. I probably didn't see that I could have made strikers. Probably I think what happened here is that while I was playing, I didn't notice that I can make strikers. I think I looked at my items and I said I don't want to make Declaw, and I couldn't think of what other item to make. So then I just made the Bloodthirster QSS and I said I'll figure out my items later. But like having 2 items is really bad. Because items are multiplicative. You always want to rush 3 items on the same unit. So ideally here, these Renekton items should have been 3 items for tank, because I already have 2 tank items, and a 3rd item for Senna. Now I could move the Bloodthirster and the QSS onto Senna and Scion respectively, and that would probably be stronger than this. But Renekton's like broken, so it's hard to judge. I don't know. I don't think this was a good play. Maybe I remove one of these. I think this is good. Yeah, I like this now. There we go. 3 items and 3 items. This is better. 3 items, 3 items, and then I have this useless Deathblade now. But at least it's 3 items. I don't think Kraken is that good on Renekton, but with the QSS, I kind of want the QSS and the Kraken together. So I just do this. And then Draven I'll eventually sell, and I can maybe make like a 3rd set of items on somebody else. It's not the worst, but it's okay. Anyways, look, Renekton came in clutch and saved me from the Tryndamere wrapping my ass. Jumps in, jumps out. Wow, look at this. Tryndamere 3, no problem. We have a Scion that's scaled long enough, and we have a Senna. Nice. I like my item distribution now. I just don't like that, like I should have maybe made one more item for Scion. Maybe it's just like drop the Bloodthirster and I put Deathblade, like maybe I put Deathblade on Renekton and Bloodthirster on Scion if I did this, but I think it would have been better if I just made one more Senna item and then I just had 3 item, 3 item, 3 item instead of having like this one extra item on the side. It's a little bit awkward. Anyways, we're finally at a point now. It's 5-2. We can go level 9. We'll probably go level 9, roll a little bit here, try and find some upgrades, and also play. Here I just put in this guy for Juggernaut. I'm 4 Noxus, I know, but it's not that big of a deal. I could play Targon instead of somebody, but I'd rather just have Juggernaut and the Swain for the stun. I can also play a thing instead, like a Disruptor instead. But right now, I'm playing Quick Striker because Quick Striker gives my whole team attack speed, which is pretty good. So I'm okay to just keep this, even though it's a little bit ugly with 4 Noxus. The stun from the Swain is enough for me to warrant playing Swain and having the 4 Noxus. Because eventually I can just drop the Draven, and I can just play Kindred Yunara. You know what I mean? Yunara is like a good enough unit. Or I can just play Draven and Kindred over Yunara. Like either or is fine. But I'm paired on a lot of units. Right, I'm paired on Senna, I'm paired on Azir. So I'm probably going to roll pretty deep on this stage, unless I feel like, unless I scout my lobby and they're all trolling, then I can maybe like get by with greeting to go level 10. But I think I'm probably just going to do this. I'll probably roll a little bit. Yeah, I'm just rolling every turn. I could play MF, and I could play for Senna. I think that's what I'm thinking of. But I want to hit Senna too, right? I'm probably just going to roll. I'm just thinking a lot. Yeah, I don't think Gunslinger is that important on Senna. Swain 2, now I'm just forced to play Swain. I can move the items over because Swain's going to be a little bit more efficient. Or a little bit better of a tank, I think, than Scion, even though Scion scaled a lot of HP. But this is fine. Bruiser on whole board. Juggernaut's here. They're going to live pretty long. Senna and this guy maybe need to position on the opposite side. And look at this Renekton, by the way. Not even good items on him, and he's just going to fucking go to town. Like, good night, man. This Renekton just did everything. Holy shit, man. That's a 4 cost, by the way. But let's skip ahead a little bit. I think here there's some Void players in the lobby. Obviously, somebody's going to hit Baron. It is what it is. I want to pivot into Kindred. I haven't hit a Kindred yet. I think I finally got my Senna too, though. So Senna's going to do a lot of damage. And applies the anti-heal really well, hitting the whole board. Right when she does the Giga Senna cast. So that's pretty good for me. I think I lose this fight. Yeah, just not enough front line. It is what it is. But yeah, we're just going to skip ahead a little bit. I'm going to end up like pivoting my board a little bit here. So I just drop the Draven and play around Kindred with these items. And then I find a 3rd item here. I don't have a 3rd tank item, which I think is a little bit risky. But I'm assuming that with the Azir Sand Soldiers, I have enough front line. That's why I'm not making a 3rd tank item. But again, it's like 2 items. I think I needed to make a tank item here. A little bit sloppy in my execution. I could get punished pretty badly against some better lobbies. But I think that by the time I get to the next round, I think I just didn't want to greed, because on Carousel I don't think there was a good enough item to take as a tank item. So I think like now I can just like complete my items after dragon round or whatever, I think is the goal. This guy's really strong, by the way. Yunara Rise max cap, obviously. So we might not be able to win right now, but I do think that if I hit Kindred 2 and hit my full board max cap, I should be able to beat these players. Right now we have Shyvana in, right? As you can see, we drop Noxus eventually. We don't need Noxus. But we have Bruiser still because it's just extra frontline. Wukong's also decent in terms of frontline because he resummons a spawn. But once we have like 3 item Kindred, we're basically just playing Kindred 2, Senna 2, and this Renekton just popping off. Sion's just good to stay on the board. Bruiser, and he has a lot of HP because he scaled it over time. So he's just like a big target dummy is the way you can think of him. So he's not even that bad. Right, my board is not the greatest. As you can see, I have like 4 very basic synergies active, but the quality of my units is pretty high, right? Renekton's really powerful, Kindred's really powerful, and Senna is really powerful, right? Just really solid units, even though there's not like a lot of deep synergies, and I have a lot of frontline, right? I could also play the Taric, I could also play Fiddlestick, and then here I think, do I not have another tank item, man? Why am I just not taking tank items ever? Was it Crown Guard or Steadfast? I guess at this point I'm just all in on damage. But like without a Kindred 2, I don't think I should be taking a Kindred item. So I think this was a little bit of, like I think my itemizations towards the end here, I think I was mostly panicked, right? I think I panicked when I didn't make the 3rd item at the start, and then at that point I just kind of gave up on tank items, which I think is a little bit risky, but I think, you know, I don't think you can out tank the Baron anyways. Maybe that's my thought process at the time. But I think I should have made the tank items earlier, right? At this point, it's like we're in too deep. We can't really make tank items. Or at least in my thought process. Because, like, Baron, I just need to out DPS this shitter. You know what I mean? Not good Baron items, so we're definitely going to do enough damage here. Not even close, man. Not even close. Let's go. Okay, let's watch the last couple of fights. Because now I'm basically at max cap. It's the encounter where you get a bunch of gold. I didn't even remember this when I was playing it. So I just got an insane amount of gold. I'm just like, okay, yep, I'm going straight to 10. Straight to 10, I'm playing anybody that buffs my whole team. So we're just going to play this. Bang. Ionia isn't good this game, if I'm not mistaken. So I never really considered Ionia. But I'm just going to play either Taric, Fiddlesticks, or Gunslinger for Senna. One of those is going to be my next in. This guy's mostly AP damage because he has the Rise too. So I put in Taric just to give my whole team MR. But what's his name? Fiddlestick is also good because he'll stun the whole board. So like I think either of them could win because everybody's clumped with the Freljord board. Fiddlestick basically eats those for lunch. But with this Renekton, Senna, Kindred, I have so much DPS on my board that like it's gonna be hard for anybody to deal with this, right? And I have a good amount of frontline because I have the Azir Sand Soldiers in addition to like all the other upgrades. Like look at this, man. I might lose this fight, maybe, if I get unlucky, but like it's not that close, is it? Right? Look at that. Look at that ragtag ass board that I made playing around Draven tempo. But the quality of the units is fine, right? That's the main thing, right? I have Juggernaut in, I have a Swain which stuns, I have the Wukong that summons a thing, I have the Sand Soldiers, right? It's just a matter of who's my last unit, right? I don't think I need Gunslinger for Senna. I think Fiddlesticks is the best option here, by the way. So I hope that in this game, if past me is competent, he plays Fiddlesticks here. Because Fiddlesticks does the whole stun and reduces armor and MR. Yeah. If the person is clumped, it's Fiddlesticks, no question, right? Like, look at this Fiddlesticks. Ready? He's going to jump on all of these guys. This whole fucking board is going to get stunned. It's not even going to be close. Remember last fight how it came down to, like, you know, 2 of my units live? I would be surprised if this match is close. This Fiddlestick is just going to eat everybody. For lunch. Easily, easily, easily. Yeah, look at it. Does this look close to you guys? It's not even close. I remember the last fight. Remember the last fight how it came down to, like, my front line was dead and I just had to kill the Rise? Look at how much less close this one is. Because of the Fiddlestick stun. Like, that's how much of a difference Fiddlesticks made. It's not even close, man. My Swain is still alive. You know what I mean? Because, like, the Fiddlestick stunned into the Swain, made the Swain able to stun, which made him able to live. Like, it's not even close, man. But anyways. That's a little Draven game for you guys. If you guys don't, obviously, like, always play around the units that you have. Try your best. Make it to those high cap boards if you can. Hopefully this video was fun and exciting. I tried to make it as such. Obviously, I made some mistakes at the end. I think that I panicked for sure. Because I didn't see a good item. And then I just didn't really think about tank items. You should always make triple triple items on the same units, right? But it's something that anybody can forget at times, like if your items are bad and stuff is weird and whatever. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. See ya. Bye bye.